You know, we're all using AI every single day, whether we realize it or not. But here's the thing, behind these incredibly smart systems, there's a whole new world of security risks that most of us never see. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at the new rules for this very dangerous game.
And no, this isn't a joke. This is a real-life response from a car dealership's AI chatbot after a user figured out how to trick it. It's a perfect and kind of hilarious example of just how easy it can be to manipulate these powerful systems, often with some pretty wild results.
Which brings us to the big question, right? If an AI can write computer code, compose a symphony, and analyze incredibly complex data, how on earth can it also be tricked into selling a brand new SUV for a single dollar? Figuring out that paradox is the key to understanding this whole new world of AI security.
To really get why this is such a huge shift, we first have to look at how things used to work. For decades, software security was built on a really solid, predictable foundation, something we can think of as a security blueprint.
And that foundation is a process called threat modeling. It's pretty straightforward, really. Before you even write a line of code, security experts look at the system's design, the blueprint, to find and fix potential flaws. It's about spotting the cracks in the foundation before you build a skyscraper on top of it.
The whole thing basically boils down to these 4 questions. What are we making? What are all the ways someone could break it? How are we going to stop them? And finally, did our fixes actually work? It's a logical, repeatable process that works great for predictable systems, but that predictability is about to vanish.
See, here's the problem. That whole idea of a stable, predictable blueprint that you can review and sign off on, it's being completely shattered by how we build things with AI. The old rulebook is being tossed right out the window.
Get this, over 40% of all new code is now generated by AI. Development isn't moving at a human pace anymore. It's moving at machine speed. A security blueprint that takes your team a week to analyze is basically ancient history by the time they're done.
And this slide really nails the massive shift we're talking about. We are moving away from traditional systems that follow predictable logic, like a blueprint, to AI systems that learn and guess, more like a brain. The logic isn't in the code anymore. It's in the data the AI learned from. We've gone from blueprint to brain.
This leads to what security experts call the black box problem. An attacker doesn't have to find a bug in the code anymore. They can attack the AI's brain directly, this incredibly complex web of numbers called weights that holds all the logic. The code can be perfectly secure, but the entire system can still be compromised.
So, if the bad guys are now attacking the AI's mind instead of its code, what do those attacks even look like? Well, they're not what you're used to. They're designed to go after the very way the AI thinks and perceives the world.
First up, you have data poisoning. This is where an attacker messes with the data the AI is learning from. It's like teaching a kid the wrong things from the very beginning. The AI learns these bad lessons and builds them right into its core thinking, creating hidden backdoors or dangerous biases.
Then you've got evasion attacks, which are incredibly sneaky. This is when an attacker makes tiny changes to something, like changing just a few pixels on a photo of a stop sign. You and I would never notice the difference. But to a self-driving car's AI, that stop sign might suddenly look like a green light.
And here's the big one for chatbots, the #1 vulnerability out there, prompt injection. This is exactly how the Chevy chatbot was tricked. You can think of it as social engineering, but for AIs. A clever user writes a prompt that hijacks the AI's original programming and gets it to do whatever they want.
And that prompt injection gets really scary when an AI has what we call excessive agency. That's when you give the AI power to do things in the real world, like send emails, run code, or access other systems. Suddenly, a trick prompt isn't just making a funny screenshot, it's a full-blown security breach.
Okay, so these threats are new, they're different, and yeah, they're a little bit terrifying. But the good news is the security community is moving fast. A whole new defensive playbook is being written as we speak to fight back.
The first thing you have to understand is that there's no magic bullet here. You can't just install one piece of software and call it a day. Defending these systems takes a layered strategy, using a bunch of different tools and frameworks that are all designed for different jobs.
And this is the expert's new toolkit. You've got things like MITRE Atlas, which is basically an encyclopedia of how hackers are attacking AI. There's the OWASP Top 10, which is a super practical checklist for developers. And then you have broader frameworks from places like NIST that help companies manage the risk across the whole organization.
When you put all this together, one thing becomes crystal clear.
We have officially entered a new kind of arms race, a non-stop, escalating fight between AI attackers and AI defenders.
And winning this race means adopting a whole new discipline called ML-SecOps. It's this idea that security can't be an afterthought, that old blueprint review. It has to be automated and continuous, woven into every single step of building and running an AI, from start to finish.
So what's the game plan? For any company using AI, it starts with having clear rules and governance. But here's the most important part. You have to nail the basics. As wild as these new attacks are, most failures still happen because of simple stuff, like not properly checking the data going into or coming out of the AI. Mastering those fundamentals is still your best defense.
And here's the final twist. The very same AI technology that's letting attackers build smarter attacks, it's also our most powerful weapon to fight back. We're now using defensive AI to spot fraud, hunt for threats, and shut down attacks way faster than any human ever could.
Which leaves us with this one final massive question. AI is already building our future. It's becoming the foundation for everything we do. The challenge for every single one of us, whether you're a developer, a business leader, or just a user, is to make sure we're building its defenses too.